The National Comedy Center down in Jamestown continues to build on its collection of documents, pictures, and videos of those who best made people laugh.
The latest acquisition comes from Ben Stiller. It's a collection of items from his parents, the late comedy duo Stiller-Meara. We have Journey Gunderson joining us now from Jamestown with those details. Journey, first of all, thank you for offering the camera that we use in a lot of our weather tosses. That is helpful for us. Second of all, thank you for joining us.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
All right, this coincides with the release of Nothing Is Lost, Ben Stiller's new documentary about his parents' lives. How did you get a hold of Ben Stiller? Did he get a hold of you guys? How did this relationship start?
It's a great question. We've been in conversation with Ben Stiller going back to when the museum opened in, I think, 2018, and talking about how this is the museum that celebrates a comedy duo like Stiller-Meara, something our culture and our nation has had a void of until now. Jamestown, New York established the only true national archive for this art form, the only museum that chronicles the story of this great art form. And so in our early conversations with Ben, we learned he was working on this documentary and knew that one day when he was finished with it, that the archives would make their way to Jamestown.
And can you detail for us what people can actually check out there in terms of the archives that Ben Stiller has sent there?
Sure. It's an incredible archive. It's tens of thousands of pieces of paper that include a really great look at process. Copious notes in the margins of every script, whether it's their handwritten notes from their early days as in the Compass Players in Chicago, which was the forebear to Second City, handwritten scripts and notes for their iconic routines on Ed Sullivan. Mind you, they were on Ed Sullivan 36 times, and that was the biggest platform of the era. And then if you continue through the archive, you even see Jerry Stiller's scripts from, of course, his iconic role as Frank Costanza on Seinfeld. And what you see in the materials is the level of iteration and honing and dedication to this art form and craft, and that's what made them so great. The other story that this archive tells that's unique to Jerry Stiller and Ann Meara is that they were portraying an interfaith dating couple on television in the 60s at a time when that was taboo, at a time when relationships like that were just whispered about. And this really helped a post-World War II nation that was processing this in many households nationwide. So there are characters, a Jewish boy dating an Irish Catholic girl, portraying that with warmth and humor was new, and it was revolutionary at the time. What was quietly revolutionary is that most comedy duos are built on a hierarchy. There's always the straight man, funny man. They were on equal footing. In the comedy, they could each land the punchline. One wasn't there to just serve up the other. And even from a gender role perspective, that was quietly revolutionary at the time. A complex relationship being depicted on national airwaves, and it was their lived reality in this interfaith couple. So they were generous to us with their own personal story that they made hilarious and warm.
That was an amazing description, Journey. Thank you. What does Ben Stiller say about this? Obviously, he is also an icon in the comedy world himself. What is he saying about his parents, so many treasures being treasured by you and then everybody who sees them?
Well, I should mention that the documentary, which is fantastic, debuts today on Apple TV+. And what you learn in the doc is that Ann Meara would lament that she sometimes didn't know where the personal life ended and the comedy began. And so Ben remembers as a child them going in another room and closing the door to work on their comedy, but it sounded, he could never tell, are they having a real argument or are they writing comedy? And sometimes it was one or the other because they were really, and this was a period in comedy where there was a larger, broader shift away from setup punchline, very formulaic comedy, and a shift. Stiller and Meara were part of the shift toward observational humor, where they were mining everyday life experiences, and there was more subtlety to it. And of course, a lot of people, depending on your age cohort, learned about observational comedy from shows like Seinfeld. But Stiller and Meara were kind of the first to depict this on Ed Sullivan in a major way at that time.
All right, just another attraction, it appears, here in Western New York for so many people to take advantage of and learn from. And we'll see whether Ben Stiller, maybe, I don't know, makes a stop down in Jamestown and checks it out in person.
Many comedians have.
Yeah,
Thank you, Journey, so much for joining us.
Thank you, Journey.